Okay, so it seems like everybody can hear me. Soheeb, I've sent you a request to join as a co-host so that you'll be able to speak as well. And we'll just give it just a couple minutes while you get that ready, and I'll put out a quick tweet to let people know that we're live. Yes, we can hear you. So yeah, this is great. Welcome to the spaces. Given that we're hosting this on our profile, would you like to give a quick introduction to our community and I guess anyone of yours that's tuning in as well about Contrax and I guess a little bit about how you guys are working with Peapods as well?
Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. Right before I do it, KJ is here as well. So if you promote him, he can also chime in. He's the co-founder. So I guess that's the first thing to say. So Contrax is co-founded by myself and KJ here. And to give a brief intro on who we are and what we do. Um, Contracts is basically all about making the current realm of DeFi, which is sort of for the degens and those that sort of are aspiring degens, more accessible and open to really anyone who is a Web3 enthusiast, or just anyone looking to get into crypto, right? Like, so we're trying to go down the spectrum. We think, we've heard from many degens as well, um, including um, our mutual partner D's, who really like Contracts. It makes it super easy to get into auto compounding positions and high yield positions in a few clicks. And I'll get into what we do in a second. But the goal of the project is to just onboard to DeFi and to make access to DeFi easy. And we think, given the decentralized nature of smart contracts, given the fact that, really anyone can plug into them, this is an especially ripe opportunity in the Web3 space. So with that, uh, to get into a little bit of how Contracts actually makes DeFi approachable. So we have like if you go to contracts.finance right now, you'll I think we have a link on our homepage to our demo or to our user guide, which in the demo will be right there. And so we start by like really holding the user's hand on how to get started. And we don't take an approach of like, well, let's teach them how to use DeFi farms the way they're currently used. Like, let's make them as accessible as possible and then literally just abstract away every single thing that is normal now, but we see in the future should be considered like a more technical detail, right? You can imagine DeFi right now is sort of like the command line phase of computing, and we want to take it to like the desktop operating system that everyone can comfortably use and get onboarded to, because not everyone's getting onboarded to the command line. So the user will see uh, like get started, and they'll click that, and then they won't actually see connect wallet. They'll see sign in slash sign up, because we want it to be something that users can uh, immediately recognize what they need to do, right? Connect wallet, you're losing everyone but the Web3 audience right when you see that. So when they do that, it is a connect wallet screen, and they can choose MetaMask after that. But they also have the option of just choosing uh, like Google, Facebook. And that'll we use Web3 Auth. It auto creates the wallet for them, and right after that, they and it is DeFi still because it's their wallet. Web3 Auth doesn't have access. We don't have access. They can export their private key, right? We also pay gas for social wallets, so now we have like an account abstracted experience now where the user doesn't need to think of his wallet the traditional way. They can just think of it like an account. Um, and so once they're at that homepage, uh, we have instructions. Like we'll have the tutorial video if their account is new. We currently have like, the next thing of onboarding is how do you get crypto into the wallet, right? So if they're just totally new, they can buy, right? And we're on Arbitrum, we're built on Arbitrum, but the user doesn't need to know or care too much about that. That's another technical detail we're trying to abstract away. We will in the future want to go multi-chain, and again, it'll be a technical detail that we'll try to abstract away. So they'll have simplified KYC gateways, because even buying is like ridiculously annoying and complicated with so many steps on most of these gateways. So we only work with partners with like simplified few click KYC gateways that in most cases won't even require an ID upload. They'll also have we have a mesh, an integration that lets them just connect to their Coinbase or Binance right now, and hopefully soon a lot more exchanges, and just bring over their USDC or ETH in a few clicks, right? So funding the account is also painless. The last step is the actual earning. So they would just go to the Earn tab, and then they will see we put single-sided forms first, and actually they'll see pods right now. Well, right now it's just not entering the pods. Right now we sort of abstract away getting the AP token and getting the holder APR, right? That's what we've done so far, and we are going to add pods and auto compound. So yeah, they'll see single-sided assets, easy to understand. Oh, it's P's at 30%. Awesome, right? So they just in their mind they're just buying P's. They're doing a few clicks. They start with USDC or ETH, right, which is what the import integration. They just get you into these currencies, right? We're thinking USDC just to think like an account, think in terms of dollars, but ETH is such an established currency in DeFi that we couldn't leave that out. So we have both, right? So whichever one you prefer, you can like set your account up to be thinking in that currency. And then you just click and deposit, and then it just goes through. If you're using a social wallet, it'll just go through in a few seconds, and you'll have your position. You'll see it on the dashboard. You'll see the changes on the dashboard. If you're connecting your own MetaMask, it'll be just confirming transactions. And the main thing we're doing here is we're getting you the AP token. We're doing the routing for you, and essentially by the end of it, you have the AP position. It's framed in terms of the regular token, right? You're just viewing that you could view it like I have P's and I'm earning this, X percentage on it, right? Right now it's maybe 20 something. But in reality, it's you have the AP token, right? So that's how you're earning it. And then we'll also have, like the liquidity pools, which are, for Peapods, it's going to be two type of AP tokens, which we'll frame as two type of the regular token. And then, we'll add the holder APR, the liquidity rewards, the auto compounding, soon the LTIP rewards as well. So we'll get to talking about that. And so yeah, you'll have like a nice yield bearing position that is easy to understand for anyone. And even if you're someone who does understand all this stuff and you don't need the hand holding, it's just super convenient. It's like the routing is done for you. It's done in a few clicks. The UX is simple. And so really for anyone who just wants that simplified DeFi experience, that's what Contrax provides. So yes, a bit of a walkthrough of the whole product, but I hope it was clear to everyone on like what actually Contrax is.
That's great. So if I can sum it up into one sentence, Contrax exists for the sole purpose of making the DeFi journey easier for every user, regardless of experience level and regardless of what it is they're doing within DeFi. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely a good summary.
Yeah, cool. So, I mean, look, I'm personally really excited about the fact that we've been speaking for quite a while, from the very start of the LTIP application process. And I'm quite excited that we've got something that brings auto compounding really easily accessible to our pods. It is, it's something that we're working on, but it's also nice to have something that's there already, something that makes it much easier for users to be able to just deposit directly from ETH and USDC and go straight into wrapping into a LP position and start auto compounding yield to get a better return. I think that's great. You did mention about being able to, so there's two parts to this next little question. You mentioned about being able to use ARB from the LTIP to auto compound back into pods. So one, I guess, this is just to confirm, this will be possible for the ARB rewards that we deposit to our pod participants based on the voting that we do. And two,
is it just me or did he cut out?
Hello?
Yeah. So yeah, seems like Meta cut out there. Yeah. I don't know if he's back now.
I think it might have been you. I heard part one.
Yeah. So part one.
At two, you cut off.
I could just repeat that for him. So part one.
I can hear you now.
He was saying whether or not. Sorry, no. This is Peapod Intern now. Sorry, is Meta still talking, or am I talking over him?
I'm back. I think I can be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's a little spotty here tonight.
We heard the first part talking about auto compounding, whether or not the capability would be there to auto compound ARB rewards that we voted towards our LP positions, so our SP tokens. And I think part two was going to be whether or not they could direct further ARB incentives on top of that to their vaults.
Yes. That's correct.
I'm not sure if Soheeb can hear me because he's asked if I'm...
I can't hear who you're replying to.
Okay. Meta, I'll just let you talk. You obviously can't hear me.
Or are you replying to me?
Interesting. Okay. So Soheeb, the question was basically, we are obviously entering the phase where we're quite confident for both projects that LTIP is going to be approved. The first part, which I think you heard, was will there be capability for auto compounding of those ARB rewards to occur? So being able to take the ARB rewards and compound them back into the LP position. And two, will there be opportunity for users who do participate in Peapods through Contrax to earn additional ARB incentives from your LTIP rewards?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, positive answer on both. Yeah. So for the ARB you'll emit, we've already discussed this because you guys wouldn't be the only project. Steer also recently they passed and look like they're going to get it as well. We're integrating their pools as well. So we're going to have a lot more high APY pools coming soon. So yeah, we are going to be able to the same way any other tokens are emitted and we can auto compound them, we could definitely do that for any ARB emitted. I'd have to think about every last scenario, like, for the single-sided, that's just holder APR. I don't know, maybe it depends on what you guys emit as well. But the general answer is yes. Like if you're emitting it, we could have, our contract just auto compound it. And for our LTIP as well, if someone comes in through us, we are emitting ARB, and we're doing it in two ways, right? So we have to sort of sweeten the deal on our LTIP. We have a portion that won't be auto compounded on purpose. So you'll get that portion. I think we aimed at percentages, right? So I think it was about between 15 and 20% that will not be auto compounded. And then there's 50% that will be, right? So across the way our LTIP is designed is we have a certain amount until it gets drained out, and it won't get drained out until we hit until we get basically 1 million in TVL, right? So it applies across the board, and whatever vault people are staking in, it's that vault that is essentially draining the rewards, and it'll stay until we're essentially out. And we'll emit at the rate of trying to keep that percentage for all users. And so, we'll be doing that. So we already have a target percentage that our LTIP is set up for. And then whatever you guys do, we'll throw that in. There's obviously the APYs already that are from the yield, the fees, other emissions. And we also have, which I'll talk about in a bit, which is our Xtrax token, which doesn't have a price currently, but it'll eventually convert into the Trax token. So yeah, there's quite a lineup of different emissions that would be happening at that time.
So what I'm hearing is plenty of ways to earn on top of what we already provide through our platform. Plenty of ways to earn from what we provide on our platform through participating in contracts.
That's correct. So on top of what users would typically earn through Peapods, if they use Contrax instead, they earn that same yield. It's auto compounded for them, and then they also earn our recent ARB incentives that we've been granted, as well as the Xtrax token that we're currently distributing to stakers. So just by remaining staked in any of our vaults, you accumulate Xtrax right now. That token's non-transferable. It's used primarily for DAO governance in the pre-airdrop phase of Contrax. And then once the airdrop takes place, probably around sometime this summer, then all Xtrax holders will receive an allocation of the Trax airdrop, and we will transition to using Trax as the primary governance token and LP incentives token.
So, sorry, KJ, can you hear me? Or KJ, sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if Soheeb can, but just a question on that. So, as I understand, there's no extra fees for using the Contrax platform. So, if people effectively wrap into pods using your Contrax platform, they'll be accruing Xtrax, which later means that they'd be eligible for an airdrop of Trax. Did I get that right?
That's correct, except for the no fees to use Contrax. We do have so the way that Contrax creates revenue is every time we harvest the rewards for users, which is depending on the vault's TVL, it's done either multiple times a day or multiple times a week. And at each harvest, we take a small cut of the harvest itself, and that gets sent to the Contract's treasury wallet. But that fee is essentially covered by the gain in APY that's created by auto compounding. So from the user's perspective, the fee really doesn't take away anything. They're still earning more than they would directly using the pods, since we're auto compounding it and giving Xtrax and ARB rewards on top.
Yeah, perfect. I guess what I just it seems like a good deal to use your platform to get into a pod, get the auto compounding, and be eligible for an airdrop. So that's it could be exciting for some of our users, and potentially the double. Well, I don't want to say double dipping, but getting the ability to earn ARB rewards from LTIP of our application, but then also your application. So yeah, I think this could be a good mutual benefit. For combining our platforms in this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to add to that, a little bit more info on the Trax token. So as I said, the Xtrax is just a temporary governance token. Has no price right now. When we do airdrop Trax, that will go to all Xtrax users and Quest participants. That Trax token will, we're a U.S. registered DAO, registered in Wyoming, and we plan to do a either rev share or a buy and burn program. We're still working out with the lawyer which would be the best way to go about that, but essentially by staking your tracks post airdrop, you will in turn be able to earn passively via the revenue of the Contrax ecosystem itself.
Awesome. That sounds really good. So Soheeb is back now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I don't know. My internet was biased against you before, but I can hear you now.
Yeah, all good. Nice to have you back. Is there anything you wanted to add since you've been gone?
Yeah, I cut out for a bit. Fees were mentioned. I do want to mention that for single-sided, like just actually holding APR and stuff, there's no fee. Literally, the benefit to us is we're just getting more people using our platform. In fact, there's only a benefit to you guys because you also earn extracts, especially during the LTIPs. There'd be a benefit to you guys. You know, on top of extracts, additional APY in both ARB and whatever you're holding. So yeah, our goal right now is we're in growth mode. And so that's good news for everyone here because our priority is not revenue right now. It's growing and getting more users. Even if that means doing it at a loss at this point, which is obviously common for projects starting up. But we're happy to get the word of Contrax out there to get people to experience it, get more people to use it, and to obviously build value in the product itself and the enthusiasm for it, and then getting the DAO up and running, right? So it's really all upside for anyone to use Contrax from Peapods at this point.
Yeah, just to add to that too, a few more incentives that were mentioned are through the Arbitrum grants. We cover all network fees for our users. So as long as you use a social wallet on Contracts, that's really where the magic happens. You sign in with social media, and it will generate a self-custodial wallet for you, and then at that point, we're able to abstract away all the complexities of DeFi to really make it like a one-click experience for everything, very much like a traditional banking app. Whereas if you connect a MetaMask wallet or some other Web3 wallet, it's going to be more like a traditional DeFi experience where you're doing all the approvals and confirmations and everything on your end. So when you use a social wallet, you get the abstraction, which makes everything very simple, and you also have your network fees covered by Contrax, which the Arbitrum grant allows us to cover that. And in the future, as I mentioned, we will have a lot of benefits to Trax holders themselves. So it's definitely worth accumulating extracts now while we're still early.
Can I just ask on that no gas thing? Is that only for the auto compounding is gas free, or even depositing into a vault, one wouldn't need to pay gas?
Yep. So right now, Soheeb, you can I know you've been doing it personally, so I'll let you answer just so I don't get anything wrong.
Yeah, so currently it's for absolutely everything for a social wallet. So if you're signing with the social wallet, we're assuming that you don't know how to manage gas. Or even if you do, it'd be nice to not have to manage it, right? So we cover it for depositing, withdrawing, swapping, transferring off platform. So anything that you would need gas for, even bridging from Polygon, we'd cover it. So you can actually a neat thing about Contrax is if you send funds from Polygon in USDC or ETH to your wallet, it'll show up on the dashboard, and you can like convert it to or bridge it to Arbitrum in like 2 clicks. And if it's a social wallet, again, we'll cover that gas. So yeah, we try to cover it as much as possible across the board. The only thing we don't do it is for regular MetaMask wallets. There's more complexity in doing that. We'll eventually do it when we upgrade to 4337. We'll have that option, but for now, it's for the social wallets.
Cool, thanks for that. And just you also mentioned that you'd be eventually going cross-chain, and you wanted to abstract that away from the user. So say if I bridged some USDC to Arbitrum, but then I was going to join like an Optimism vault, you would handle the bridging and then zapping into the vault, just all behind the scenes, that the user doesn't have to sort of think about that. And in that case, what is like the preferential chain that you would sort of consolidate all the funds back to?
So our base chain is definitely Arbitrum. That's where the DAO will live. That's where our treasury will exist. And we do have plans to eventually go multi-chain. What we're really still waiting for, which there are some projects in the works, are something like, for example, we've been exploring Zeta Chain and a few others where we can give basically a single user experience where they're able to interact with different blockchains without ever having to switch networks manually in their wallet or anything like that. So the end goal is an all-encompassing DeFi app where they can interact with vaults on many different chains seamlessly. But for now, we're sticking with Arbitrum for the initial growth phase, and like a few small things like the one-click bridging from Polygon, which makes it simple to move funds over. And then we have our mesh integration, which that's really great for our target market being normie users, quote unquote, who don't have much DeFi experience. So mesh allows you to move funds over from different SEX accounts to your Contrax wallet pretty much seamlessly without ever leaving our app.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, the reason why I was asking about that is because we obviously have a multi-chain future ahead of us as well. But I'll let Meta ask a question if he's got one.
No, look, I think you guys have done a really good job of covering across, what you guys are doing, what you're bringing. Your vision seems really good. I think it's smart to establish yourselves on one chain before you start venturing too far out. So housing yourselves on Arbitrum, making the most of the grant that you've got coming through, and building a little bit of a name for yourself and then going over to more ecosystems, I think is great. It's something that we sort of know quite well, having come over to Arbitrum. I think if we had have tried to do that at launch, it might have been a little bit more difficult. But the fact that we built up everything we did on mainnet before we started venturing and looking at further expansions, I think it seems like a really smart move. I really do like the way that you're looking to enable people to go cross-chain quite seamlessly. I think that's going to be great. I guess just going to throw it out, is there anything else that you guys felt you wanted to cover off on this space, or are you sort of ready for us to open this up and see if there's any questions from the community that they'd like to get answered?
Yeah, I think I covered everything that I wanted to. So do you have anything to add?
The only thing I think I didn't spend any time on that I wanted to was just a little bit on like our DAO, what it is, what the extracts token is. Obviously there's a few token types at play, which is ironic because we're trying to abstract that away. And I actually just had that proposed to me, like we should definitely try to abstract that away for our own DAO. But anyways, like what is the Contrax DAO? What does it mean to earn extracts tokens? Right, that's one of the incentives. Like, hey, come through us. We earn, you can earn extract. So I think KJ did touch on this. Might have been a little bit while I was like configuring, so hopefully not too much of it is repeated. But yeah, so when you earn on Contrax, you'll also earn extracts tokens. You'll actually just see it accumulate on your dashboard. It's an on-chain token that we periodically just release it into the wallet, so then you can actually see your on-chain balance as well. And it's non-transferable, but it can vote, like with a vote tab. So we also imagine the whole experience I just said about how easy it is for people to get started. They'll just automatically earn the token, and then when they see proposals, there's a vote tab. They can just click and vote right there, and it's, you know, we have the API to snapshot. And so just getting onboarded and being part of a DAO is also now super easy. So anyways, with the extracts right now, you can vote, but that's about it. We are currently in the process of like getting to a launch of the Trax token. This includes a fundraise round, which was recently approved by the DAO, and we are looking at launch pads. You know, all of this is in our near future. And the goal would be that, you know, sometime, you know, late Q2, early Q3, hopefully, no date yet, we would launch on, you know, a given launch pad, and we would airdrop the token shortly after, right? Like those two events would go together. And then there would be the Trax token, which is the market token and the live token. So all extracts earned would be replaced with Trax tokens. So there's definitely a level of airdrop farming that you guys can do through Contrax. I just wanted to make it clear that that's how all that works. We do have more tokenomics, like we have a tokenomics article and that you guys could read. Yeah, I think that was the last thing I wanted to spend a bit of time on explaining. I'm good now for topics.
I've just got one quick question as well. When we go to the app, it says beta Contrax finance. When are you coming out of beta?
Oh yeah, good question. Good question. In my head, I've always thought that we'd leave beta when we launch. Like when we launch, and this is now our final DAO token, and this is our our full setup. You know, this is now the token's doing everything we said that it would do. In my mind, that is the end of beta. It's less of a platform thing, really. It's more of a DAO thing, right? Because I think platform wise, it's actually quite well tested. Some of these vaults have been live for over a year, but we just didn't publish them because we were just sort of thinking about how to best take it to market. And a bear market also made it a little bit tougher, but gave us more time to build and think. So yeah, I think that's probably when we switched to app.contracts.finance.
Cool, thanks. I guess we can reserve some time to bring up anyone from the community that wants to ask any questions. If anyone does, please request to be a speaker. Or put up your hand and we can request you to be a speaker. Don't be shy. If not,
it seems like we've done such a good job of covering everything that there's no more questions left to be asked. So yeah, I think guys, this has been really great to catch up, talk about this in public, and you know, being able to allow our community to get a better understanding of exactly what Contrax is and what it offers and what it unlocks for users of our platform. So I think just on our little sign out, and again, if anyone does want to come up and ask questions, request while I'm talking, but otherwise I'll sort of wrap it up by covering what to me feels like the biggest benefits that our project and our users will get out of Contrax. So obviously you get all of the standard returns that you get from wrapping into pods and providing LP, but you get the additional benefit on Arbitrum, of course, of being able to auto compound your yield. So your LP positions will continue to increase over time by reinvesting your rewards back into your LP position. In doing that, you'll also earn whatever the Arbitrum rewards are, or the ARB rewards are that you would from LTIP through our campaign. And then you'll also have the possibility of earning ARB rewards through Contrax. And on top of that, you'll be eligible for an airdrop. So effectively, it enables a really great seamless user experience for being able to get into pods. But on top of that, it also provides you with a couple of extra yield opportunities by heading over to Contrax. I guess maybe the one last thing that we might want to just cover quickly is I did have a question in the Telegram I think it was yesterday or the day before, where a user was wanting to get a bit of an understanding about the security measures you guys have gone through. I did see on your LTIP application, you've done quite a few different steps to ensure that things were working safely. I know you've done some fuzzing and some other pieces, but if you could give us maybe a little 1 minute run over of that, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll take that. Before I forget though, I do want to say that we have some pods live, right? I'll quickly say that and then I'll answer your question because I'm like, yeah, the whole point of this is to let you guys know you could use it. It is live now. It's just the holder ones for apPEAS, apOHM, and GMX. apOHM has high slippage right now, so warning, you'll see the slippage. I forgot to mention this. We also simulate transactions, and you see the slippage. The pool doesn't have that much liquidity. We'll either work on getting liquidity into that pool or swap it out. But again, transparency is a big thing on Contrax, so you'll see it. So yeah, you could go and start using it now. To your question, so we are audited on Cyberscope. That happened mid-February, so almost 2 months ago. That's sort of like why we're launching now. We were waiting for that formal audit step. So that's taken care of. And that'll cover all contracts, including the contracts that we're using for Peapods right now. I mean, the way things work is we sort of deploy the same exact contracts for doing these things, for the zapping, for the auto compounding. So all those are audited contracts with no changes. With regards to anything else, we've been up on Immunify since last February, so year and change now, with again the same contracts. So we have this open source audit ongoing, and can get annoying because we get a lot of spam reports, but it's worth it for the time we've ever spoken to like an actual experienced white hat hacker. And you mentioned the consensus fuzzing, which is just like automated testing for exploits. We've run the contracts against that. We really done everything we could think of to make sure that these contracts are definitely airtight. They're already based on the Yearn's auto compounding contracts. The structure is well known. We're not so ironically, on the actual smart contract side, Contrax is not looking to do anything too crazy or creative, right? We're actually trying to err on the side of safety. Our goal is mainly to take smart contracts to market, contracts that already have existed, have proven themselves, have been used safely for a while, including the ones we deploy, right? So yeah, I think that's a good overview.
I think that ties in well to another question we got in our Telegram, that you want to bring these smart contracts to the user. So the question was, given that contracts are targeting a different class of user, what sort of marketing streams are they engaging in or planning to engage in?
Yeah, that's a really good. Okay, KJ, you take it. You go.
Yeah, sorry. So we have a few things in plan. We are working with 4AM Marketing, a marketing agency in the Web3 space. Is to really focus on specific social medias such as TikTok and Facebook. Besides for the obvious crypto, Twitter and whatnot, we're really targeting the quote unquote normie users. So not necessarily people with zero crypto experience, but there's a lot of users out there that are only comfortable using centralized exchanges, and that's really our target user right there. Is we're trying to take these guys off of Coinbase and whatnot, and provide an easy onboarding to self custody and earning yields on their assets. So our plan is to really target, like I said, sex users, and then also former users of BlockFi, Celsius, and Voyager, which were basically centralized yield earning platforms that are now deceased because of their centralization, causing all kinds of issues in the end. We basically created an alternative to them that is fully transparent and simple to use, and we've seen with those platforms how quickly they grew into massive projects, and we hope to fulfill that empty void that was created when they imploded due to the 3AC and all that shenanigans a couple years ago.
Yeah, and if I just want to add, since I've thought a lot about this recently, I thought a lot about this in general, but especially recently, because there are other projects that are trying to make DeFi simplified, and I've noticed that almost none of them actually operate in the DeFi space or even really well known in the DeFi space. I mean, I don't want to like call out any projects, but I mean, if you've heard of this concept before, DeFi made easy, other people have used this tagline. Think about how actually involved they are in the DeFi space. Think of if they're even on DeFi Llama, because almost none of them are. Um, and I think the big difference with Contrax is, I mean, we're starting from the DeFi space. Like we're working with projects like you guys, with Sushi, with Steer, with Origin. I mean, we got a list of lineup of DeFi projects that see the value of this for their existing users. In terms of go to market, that's in my mind as solid as it gets. Like you go to the space and find people actually actively engaging, with the space, and then actually have a problem that you come in to solve, and then you do that again and again for different projects, and then you have a pretty solid and organic foundation, and then it would be naturally a project like ours then that can go outside the DeFi space because we've already done it in the DeFi space, right? So yeah, that's the way I've been viewing it. I think it makes a lot of sense in my head, and you weeks and months are really going to be telling for fulfilling that.
Yeah, so just to add to that, the core difference between us and several competitors that offer basically this Web 2 like DeFi experience. Most of them are either for-profit companies or they're just generally centralized in several ways. Whereas we've right from the very beginning we formed a DAO committee of about 20 DeFi users who then signed off on establishing the Contrax DAO LLC in Wyoming. So from the very jump, we are a fully decentralized entity, registered by a decentralized group of DeFi users. We really are trying to focus on being a US-based DAO that follows compliance to as much as possible. It's a very gray area right now, but we're doing everything to make sure that we remain safe in the future as well. But essentially, the main differentiator between us and competitors is the DAO aspect and putting control and ownership in the hands of our users. So instead of being a centralized for-profit company, we literally will airdrop these governance tokens to our early users, and at that point, revenue share will take place, and really the users are the owners of Contrax.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I like your whole ethos, and yeah, the marketing campaign that you mentioned, and targeting those users that were affected by the more centralized versions of yourself, and coming from the DeFi space. Yeah, it's all good. So we're very excited to work with you guys and have you offering our products as part of your product. So maybe apPEAS is going to come on TikTok if you're going to be doing your marketing on TikTok. Hopefully apPEAS being one of the highest APY performing assets on your platform, maybe we can get a bit of a spotlight on your TikToks as well. So that, I'm excited where this can go, and working together to bring more people into DeFi and yield opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. we're happy to be working together and appreciate you guys hosting this space to share us with your users. In terms of Facebook and TikTok, the only reason we mention them specifically is that seems to be where the target users that we want congregate. So as we know, crypto Twitter is really big with existing DeFi users, whereas most of the crypto stuff you find on Facebook and Twitter is either meme coin shenanigans or it's centralized exchange users. So we're really gonna try to make a marketing push there to convince people why self custody is important and why it makes more sense to put your assets to work uh, versus just leaving them on a centralized exchange.
Yeah, very cool. So I think, yeah, like Intern said, I think it's really great what you guys have done. I think it's awesome that we've got something that we can bring in to bring something else to our users. Yeah, and I think, really happy to have made contact with you guys and to be working pretty closely with you. Thanks again for making the time and agreeing to do the spaces with us. Yeah, it's been really great. And thanks to everyone who's come out to listen and everyone who listens back to the recording. We obviously love to have as many touch points with the community as we can. I think we'll wrap up the call now because we've sort of heading on toward an hour shortly. So I think this has been a really great call. And yeah, thanks everyone for jumping on.
Let me take a second also to thank you guys and tell and mention how much we love your product. When we built Contrax out, one thing we really did not want to do is just build on top all of these emission based projects that their API is as fake as it gets because it's literally reflecting the price of their token, which is inflated, and their literal tokens getting inflated with emissions, and that number goes to zero really, really quickly. And that leaves a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. And maybe some degens know how to navigate that, but that's not our target audience to begin with. So yeah, real yield is something we really care a lot about. We've struggled in the past to find good real yield projects to partner with and build on top of. So Peapods it's amazing for that. Like we're just like, yeah, this is as real as it gets. It's based on market volatility. It's capturing actual value from the market and emitting it as a APR. So yeah, thank you guys for existing so that we could build on top of you.
Thank you very much. It's definitely one thing that we love about what we've got is the fact that we don't just death spiral to zero and everything becomes unappealing. So that's definitely a good thing. We've got Marco here who's requested to speak. So Marco, did you have a question?
Yeah. Hi guys, and thank you very much for the space. It was very interesting. I just wonder for the typical DeFi user, how can we benefit from Contrax? Because it sounds very interesting. I'm definitely going to recommend it to a lot of people. But like me, is it going to make me save some time on some, like if I'm looking at 100 DeFi projects, is it gonna be like a more centralized way of looking at stuff from my social media? I don't know if it has been answered. I joined a little bit late. Sorry, guys, if it's already been explained.
No problem. So when you sign in with social media, we use Web3 auth in the background to generate a self-custodial wallet. So it's we have no access to the keys. We can't move your funds for you or anything like that. You're the only one that can access those. You can look into Web3 auth to understand the technicalities behind that, but essentially it uses your devices and uh, and some other things like cookies from social media to verify that it's you. You have the ability to, in our user dashboard, to export your private key after generating a wallet. And so in terms of standard DeFi users, the value that we provide would be the covering of gas if you use a social wallet. So we abstract away all the complexities like approvals and all that. So it's just a one-click experiences. We cover your gas, and then you have the new ARB incentives after we've got this grant. So you can earn what you would normally earn on say a pod deposit, but going through Contrax, you'd also earn ARB incentives as well as our Xtrax token, which will later be converted to a liquid Trax token when we hold our airdrop.
All right.
And just quickly, I want to mention that you don't have to do social wallet. You don't have to. You can just use MetaMask or your Web3 wallet of choice, and then it'll work exactly the same. You'll sign your confirmations. You'll have to do gas, but you can probably do that as a DeFi user. And the convenience you'll get, obviously, the zapping, the simplified UX, you'll get obviously the Xtrax token, any additional APY we emit. So yeah, definitely benefits for DeFi users as well.
Sounds really good. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Peapods, for letting me ask the question at the last minute when you were about to wrap up. I appreciate you guys.
No problem. Thanks for jumping up. All right.
Alrighty, I reckon that's it. Yeah.
Yep, that's been great. Thanks everyone for jumping on, and till next time.
Thank you all. Use Contrax right now. Use Peapod through Contrax. Don't forget we're live, and we'll announce every time we post something. We'll ask Peapods. We'll ask you guys to retweet it. So we'll keep posting stuff. And if you guys like what we're doing, if you like what we have, we'll keep putting up new stuff. So yeah, see you guys on Contrax.
See you guys. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.